Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking love and marriage, Huntsville. You guys know why you were here. Today we've got some topics to discuss in these love and marriage Huntsville streets because, again, Mel remains the blueprint, you guys. Mel remains the blueprint to everything. And then people are just coming out the woodwork altogether because they need to be talked about. They need to be in the news. So first of all, we have, upcoming play on Freaknik, the Blacknik coming up. And guess who's selling Blacknik t-shirts, you guys? Guess who's selling Blacknik t-shirts? The same people that came for Mel for selling quote-unquote t-shirts and just being a t-shirt seller, right? And just ignoring all of Mel's other business ventures. But who are the people now, anytime you see them in a scene on the show, is wearing the black with the QUE t-shirt, and I'm sure now the Blacknik, t-shirt merch or whatever. And I may do a separate video on these alleged ticket prices and all these other things, but it's just the audacity, right? Everybody can win, right? Everybody can make money. Everybody can have a seat at the table, except for when Mel does it, it's a problem, right? When Mel does it, she's not that successful. It's not that big of a deal. Only Stormy is making things shake or whatever, even though we don't have the actual receipts to back that up. But nonetheless, that's that. And now guess what, you guys? Guess who's coming to TikTok? Guess who's, you want to take a guess? Somebody else in the cast is coming to TikTok now. By the name of KIMMI. KIMMI Scott, yes. Now, I don't know what the content is going to be. I don't know if she's going to be selling anything. I don't know if she's going to be speaking on anything. But again, everybody on a certain side was like, oh no, Mel shouldn't be doing TikTok. That's Stormy's warehouse. That's Stormy's wheelhouse. Only Stormy is allowed to be on TikTok, you guys. And then we saw the failed attempts that Destiny is doing trying to make TikTok happen. So now I think she's trying to be an apprentice for Stormy to try to get her stuff together. And then we're seeing the success of Mel's TikTok. And now all of a sudden, everything is starting to make sense, you guys. Everything is starting to make sense. After Mel's TikTok live, we got the unhinged motion from Martell, right? Of just crazy allegations. We even have Stormy taking inspiration from Mel. That's what's so funny. She took so much inspiration to have her set together and to have these demos together and have line dancing and have her family have all of these things that Mel incorporated into her TikTok live into Stormy's. But if we call it out, we're a hater and we don't want to see black women win and we're putting down black businesses. But we're seeing literally firsthand what it is like to copy somebody. We're seeing firsthand all of the things, all of the hatred, all the negativity that you project out onto other people. But then when you see an opportunity that it benefits yourself to make money, you do it too. And now, apparently, Destiny's selling, body mist or some type of body fragrance because Big D Energy air freshener, Febreze isn't working out. so we're rebranding. Can you make it make sense? Can you make it make sense, you guys? It's just funny to me, the hypocrisy of it all. The hypocrisy of it all. And speaking of Destiny, I would think that she has, more things to be concerned about. I thought there was an alleged gag order that her ex-husband had on her. I thought she was not supposed to be talking about her ex-husband. But now, again, she's adding more fuel to the fire again. Talking about the alleged ABUSE that, again, I never heard about until I think it was the Dear Future Wifey podcast that was like the soft launch of Destiny coming back on reality TV. And I'm just confused, right?
Obviously, none of us are there to attest to whether this did or did not happen. And obviously, I do not want to discount anybody who is an actual victim. But can we follow the timeline of events of how similar, the approach Destiny is taking with her ex as the approach Martell is taking with his ex? How Martell, after he got arrested, started making the ABUSC claims against Mel and thought that those videos that he gave to Tasha K was going to make something move and shake and make Mel look like the bad guy, and it backfired. And then because, Destiny's ex keeps her in court and keeps her in contempt, and she owes him $20,000 and all these things. Now all of a sudden Martell thinks that he could try to make something shake too and keep trying to have Mel in court and try to have Mel pay his attorney fees and all these things, right? It's too many parallels to me to where it's like, okay, let's just copy each other's claims and see if we can make something happen in this court system, or see if we can get enough public sympathy so that we can stop getting dragged. And that's really what the bottom line of it is, right? People don't like to be held accountable, obviously. People are too sensitive to handle the truth, apparently. So now we have to go, with the nuclear option, which is we're just going to repeat everything somebody else in the cast says. We're going to make that our story to see if we can gain the same amount of sympathy and, gain a fan base and all these things. But people do not have the receipts to back up what you're claiming. It's literally coming out of thin air. It's literally coming out of the blue. And it's like, what are we supposed to do with this information if we're hearing for it the first time in all of these years that you've been on the show? All of the times that you've had an opportunity to tell your story, to give a real storyline, instead of being up under Mel and Tell all these years, you could have gave us something, and you chose to give us nothing. You made your entire identity about your friendship with Mel, and then when that fell apart, you made your entire identity about hating Mel. And the only reason you're back on the show is because of the Sunny and Moses foolishness, as well, by extension, throwing shade at Mel during, her fallout with Martell and trying to make weird accusations. It doesn't align. And then furthermore, now Destiny all of a sudden is saying on this podcast with this coach, and I don't understand this coach, because I would think there would be a level of professionalism if you're truly, a therapist, a life coach, all these things. Wouldn't you be a little bit more professional in trying to, direct the conversation? But she sounds like a fan, a very messy fan, and, wants to get her input in instead of giving proper advice of what an actual alleged life coach and or therapist is supposed to do. She seems to be right in the mess, and I don't see this ending well whenever the day comes that her and Destiny are not going to be cool anymore. And then she's really going to expose whatever. But nonetheless, we have new allegations, apparently, against the content creator who went to the open house, remember, that Chris Fletcher had with, regarding Destiny's ex-husband that was selling the house. And remember, that content creator, did a video, they filmed through the house and all of the things. And initially, everybody was like, oh my gosh, and blah, 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 blah. And then it was like, oh my gosh, right? like literally, that's what happened. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, wow, Destiny's got this, Destiny's got that. And then it was like, oh my gosh, right? That's literally how it went, right? Now, all of a sudden, you guys, all this time that has passed, all of this time, you guys, now all of a sudden, Destiny wants to reveal that apparently, allegedly, people had been driving by that house. People had been stalking Destiny and doing all these things, and she didn't feel safe and wasn't comfortable and blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. And I was like, this story sounds familiar. Because I remember specifically with what happened with Stormy at the warehouse and people trying to paint the MEL supporters and the millimeters as on this mission to find out where everyone in the cast lives and stalk them and drive by their house and blah-de-blah-de-blah. And then I remember a certain family making allegations that the fans, that the millimeters, the MEL supporters are driving by and parked and camped out allegedly at Tisha and Marceau's house, but apparently those of you who've been there or are familiar with the area, their house is on a road that you cannot miss by a gas station, so it's not people that are specifically going to seek out this particular house. It's literally normal people that are just driving to wherever their destination is, and it has zero to do with Letitia and Marceau and the show. And now we get a similar story all of a sudden from Destiny. Does anybody have an original thought or an original idea? See, everybody thought that with what happened with Stormy in the warehouse, they thought that if they made the same claims, like, what happened with Letitia's family and now with Destiny, that it was going to garner the same type of attention. It was going to garner the same type of viral, oh my gosh, this is why the millimeters are blah, 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 right? And again, these weren't even people who claimed to be millimeters. That's what's so crazy about it as well. These weren't people who claimed, to be MEL supporters till, ride or die, right? But it's easy to label that when you assume that that's the reason people don't like you. And you fail to realize that there's people who aren't even fans of MEL who still don't like you, who see you for who exactly you are. So I'm just trying to make it make sense as to now why all of this time that has passed, if this was such a serious situation and you're concerned about your safety, you're a single mom raising your son and all these things, where was the need to stay at a hotel or stay at an Airbnb somewhere, or let LeBeric know and maybe LeBeric stay there for a little bit, or any of these things? Wouldn't you be concerned about your safety and your security, but you're still just going to stay there anyways? If there's literally weirdos that are out and about. Mel's the only person out of all of these alleged stories of stalking and trying to find where people live and drive-bys, she's the only person that actually has security. And increased security, and it's primarily because of her ex-husband. We don't hear any stories of anybody driving through Mel's gated community, trying to seek her out, trying to find out where her house is, trying to camp out at her house. We're only hearing this from a certain group of people, and they only latched onto this after the Stormy debacle. But I'm just going to need people to stop twisting things around. I really only thought that it genuinely was somebody just going to that open house and filming it and it was whatever, right? This is new information that now all of a sudden you were not safe and all of these people were driving by and doing X, Y, and Z, and you were a single mom. And you're putting yourself and your son's safety at risk because you still wanted to live the high life at LeBeric's house, but you would have been safer if this really happened to go to a hotel, to go to an Airbnb, or to go stay with your parents or something. Can you make it make sense? Why, again, we have to keep re-spinning all these new narratives that we can't verify if it's true or not, but all we can verify is the timing is sus. And the timing makes zero sense to just come out of the blue and say all of this. Other than you want sympathy and you want attention. Because we have no other receipts to verify or validate that what is being alleged and what is being claimed is absolute facts, right? So that was that. right? That's the latest Destiny update, you guys. And then of course we have, speaking of, Dr. Shanita Foster wanted to confirm again that she does not know Destiny, even though Destiny is swearing that they know each other and that they've interacted and that they've been to a few events and all these things. Shanita says she is pulling the Mariah Carey and says, I don't know her. So take that what you will. But the issue with Destiny is that her track record of telling the truth is not on the truth path in any capacity. So that was that. And now we need to move on to Sunny. Oh my gosh. We have to move on to Sunny. See, I think Sunny thought, and I think Dr. Shanita Foster thought, that because they had that initial support and favor with MEL fans and MEL supporters and MELometers, that you could just say and do anything, and that the support would be there. Ask how that worked out for Nell and the flip-flopping. Ask how that worked out with Tisha and the flip-flopping and involving her mom and involving all these people. Ask how that worked out for Kimmi and the flip-flopping. Just go down the road, right? Go down the line. Ask Destiny, ask everybody. Ask Stormy, how did that work out for them? Trying to play both sides, trying to pretend to be Mel's friend. And then when you saw an opportunity, you took it to throw shade. Or you took it to do X, Y, and Z, right? And see, I think Sunny made the mistake in thinking that, her newfound fans and her newfound people that also didn't see it for Destiny, that they were just going to rock with Sunny no matter what. But here's the thing. Here's the bottom line. A scandal is a scandal. Something that's trifling is trifling, right? And people were already divided already on, the timeline of the Sunny, Moses, and Destiny nonsense, right? But the lengths that Sunny is going to continue to go live to say a whole bunch of nothing about Moses's alleged arrest, it's giving that he is arrested. It's giving that he is behind bars. And it's giving that we're making matters worse than what it needs to be, because why not just tell the truth? Like I told you guys. What was that, Monday? I told you guys, I said Sunny had 24 hours to respond. Could have just confirmed or denied whether or not Moses was in prison, right? That's all she had to do. Could have said, listen, it's true. My husband's in prison. He went to jail. I'm not going to speak on anything further. That's his case. He can talk more when he gets out. Blah, 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 right? But instead, Sunny has been going live 24/7 because she's upset that this blew up on YouTube. She's upset that both she and Moses are getting dragged for this tomfoolery, right? And so now she's getting on these lives, mad at people, trying to, throw shade at YouTubers that are, again, breaking the story and, reporting on the story, which is what bloggers are supposed to do. And not in one of any of these videos is she denying that Moses has been arrested. All she's trying to say, people are lying on me, or people don't have the full truth, or don't have the full facts. Well, what are the facts? If you really think people are waiting till Saturday for this YouTube, Sunny? People are going to watch it, but like I said, that first 24 hours was crucial for you because that was your opportunity to get in front of the story the moment that it broke. Because a lot of us knew about it. Knew that Moses was in jail and just chose not to say anything. So that's the other cheat too, is that people knew already. But they were trying to keep it on the low and not just say anything for whatever reason. Everyone has their own reasons for doing whatever they want to do, right? But because people, broke the story and, it's Love Marriage Huntsville, it's content, we're going to talk about it. Why not? But if you're not going to say anything and you're going to wait an entire week to address anything, you're missing the memo. And this, oh, I need subscribers on YouTube. I need X amount of, before I say this video. No. You're up here talking about that you're busy, you got jobs, you got all this stuff to do, but you've been on live more than anything. And it's clear as day that Moses isn't there. So what are we achieving? It's giving clickbait, it's giving clicks and views. Now, if you just wanted to pivot your content to your Tubi career and, what you're doing with the flipping of the houses, fine. But don't gaslight the audience into, trying to drag them and trying to drag people who supported you and defended you, even if they felt things were sketchy and sus, and now alienate those same people all because you do not want to be forthcoming about what really happened with Moses. And then you allude to something happening, I guess, in 2010, and I don't know if that's related to why he's in jail now, if that's in relation to a particular charge, but listen, you knew exactly who you were dealing with. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to get involved with a career criminal, you can't be upset and cry wolf if he violates probation and is sitting in jail now. And then she tried to give this weird analogy about how she wants to go, how it's about how, and this was in comparison to the YouTubers that broke the story or whatever, and tried to give this analogy about how she wanted to go to the movies and see this new movie coming out, and then before, she even gets into the movie, somebody calls her and spoils what the movie's about, and then they don't even have all the details or have all the right, what? If you're not going to rectify what is already out there, obviously not everything people said was a lie. The fact of the matter is, Moses does not have freedom. And he's currently not free, or you would have displayed him or produced him by now. Or even a clone. Something! There would have been something produced by now if Moses was not in prison. But nonetheless, I think you feel away because now you're seeing what happens when people are not forthcoming with the truth. You can't have it both ways. You can't do it. You can't have it both ways and then try to insult the intelligence of the audience. And you didn't think all those times you were going live and this nonsense and this back and forth with Destiny, it wasn't going to eventually, something was going to come out that was not going to be good for you? And let me guess, Moses won't be at the reunion either, obviously. Are they going to try to do a Zoom call from jail? Like, it's just so weird. It truly is weird. But Sunny, I understand initially you wanting to respond to Destiny, right? Because she was doing a whole podcast tour, yet she was ignoring your calls and text messages of wanting to have a woman-to-woman conversation about you and Moses now being together after previously being her producer while she was with him, right? So, you felt a way that she was talking to everyone else in the world but you. And all of your business was out there, right? But now we've reached the point to where it's not beneficial for you to be doing all of these talking and all these, getting defensive and all these things. And all this for somebody who's sitting in prison. Which again, I'm still going to say it, Destiny, you look silly too. All this for a man who is not even free. Talking about if you want him, you can have him. No! No, that isn't the flex that you think it is. I'm sure anybody can have him. You could be the pen pal right now. Anybody can write and contact Moses right now in jail. He has nothing but time, you guys. He has nothing but time to read your letters. So that's not the drag that you think it is. But if you're not going to just say what it is, Sunny, and you have all this time to be on all these lives and get all this defensiveness and passive aggressiveness, and you still want people to tune in on Saturday for more of the tomfoolery, you're kidding yourself. That first 24 hours was your time to get in front of the story. And people could have believed it or not believed it, but it would have died down. But you're adding more fuel to the fire by trying to call people liars, by trying to say that they don't have all the details, trying to allude to a charge from yesteryear and all these things. But if you're not just going to say what it is and what it isn't, you're turning off your audience. You're turning off the people who actually were going to support you, even if it was sketchy to do so. And that's the piece you don't miss. You can't be dishonest with the people and then want to flip the script. When you start to see yourself getting the backlash and you see yourself into the spotlight and you want to try to pivot the narrative. No. Or make it seem like you're going to talk about what's going on with Moses, but really it's about other stuff you want to talk about. But you keep alluding to it because you know that's the dominant story. But this is how it goes in celebrity news and gossip. This is how it goes in reality TV. Every day there's trending stories. Every day there is a hot topic that everybody is talking about and wants to give their opinion on. You're not exempt. And it's even more so because you're in a reality show. Now listen, if you and Moses were not on the show, we probably wouldn't even care about this. We would not care about this arrest. We would probably have like a Kiki on Monday and never would have talked about this again, right? Because you're not on the show, you're not doing all these lives, you're not doing this back and forth with Destiny because nobody would have cared, right? But because you keep going live and keep trying to, argue the point, and then you had people out there, in your DMs or making the allegations to you that, an alleged Destiny fan was putting all this out there. So that caused more people to dig anyways. And you were so concerned about the doxing that you didn't think that people weren't going to dig to find out where Moses actually was. Because people noticed, like I said, I even noticed on the couple's page, the old content that kept getting reposted. So I know if I noticed that, other people noticed that and was like, where is Moses? But you can't be mad at the people for doing what they do on YouTube. If you're familiar with the show and you've been a producer on the show, you know how this works. You know what happens. You know how everybody at one point or the other in this cast has had their moment in the spotlight as the trending topic, whether for positive or negative reasons. So you can't be upset because everybody's talking about Moses being in prison. It's not the flex that you think it is, right? And this whole thing is giving embarrassing. This whole thing is giving, you were willing to risk, your husband was willing to risk his freedom to be on reality TV and not adhering to his own, probation. And decided to be in violation. And desperately wanted to be back in jail. Because somebody who genuinely wanted their freedom and wanted to, maintain their probation and all of these things, you would not give a crap about a reality show. Especially one that's filmed in another state. You would stay your butt in St. Louis and fulfill the terms of what your probation entails. But you were probably missing check-ins. You were not where you needed to be. And you had other charges anyways. And they said, you know what? You're not serious. You do not want to be free. You like being behind bars. So that's where you are. But don't get mad at the fans because they exposed it. Don't get mad at the bloggers because they exposed it. You had an opportunity to get in front of it and change the narrative. But you keep alluding to things, you keep trying to imply things and infer things, and it's pissing people off. So that's why people are going to troll you now. Because all you had to do was just get in front of it, address it once, and leave it alone. But then when you start saying you have all these jobs, you have all these things to do, but then you're on live 24/7 and telling the people to wait till Saturday, it's giving you're trying to produce a moment or something on Saturday. You're trying to produce a Moses by Saturday. To be like, see, this was all a lie. No. No, that's not how this is going to go. But you got to do better. This is what I'm saying. Reality TV is not for the weak. It is not for people who are sensitive. It is not people who cannot handle criticism. It is not for people who cannot be called out. But I'm going to need people to stop misinterpreting that and just calling it bullying and calling it people getting attacked. No. It's called being held accountable. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you can dish it out, you should be able to take it. But don't get mad at the people for reporting at least what's factually true, which is Moses is in jail. Moses isn't free because we have not seen a Moses be produced right now, right? So obviously there's truth there. That's the story. You can't be mad because, like I said, you've had several opportunities to get in front of it. You've had nearly a week to get in front of it once the story broke. But instead, you wanted to use it as a time to try to gain more followers, to try to, put out all these other narratives, to make all these other innuendos and all these implications and all these things and say a whole lot of nothing. We don't have time for that. So nonetheless, we'll see what comes of what on Saturday. But again, like I said, you had until Tuesday to get in front of it and tell the proper narrative or whatever PR spin you were going to do and kept it moving. But there's a part of you that likes that the spotlight is on you. But if Moses was here, he probably would have told you, hey, this isn't it. And honestly, the back and forth with Destiny, I'm surprised that when he was free, that he didn't say this was it. But there was a part of him, too, that enjoyed the fact that Destiny was pressed over him, right? Because that's how F-boys work, right? They love seeing you out of order and out of character over somebody that you're no longer involved with, right? So for him, he saw this as a benefit. So I don't even know if Moses was currently free, if he would have told Sunny to stop by now. He just would have been on the mute challenge anyways. So I don't even know if it would have made a difference. But nonetheless, you guys, enough is enough. Enough is enough. It's out there. He's clearly not here. He's clearly not free. What are you going to say that is going to be so, massive that is going to make people look like they flat out lied? Is what I want to know. Because if you're trying to clear your name or clear Moses's name, that would have been the first thing that you did by Tuesday. Not waiting an entire week to see what everybody has said, to waiting for all of this to blow up, for all of this to go viral on several platforms, to now be in your feelings. But continuing to go live and not address the issue at hand isn't going to work either. So there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.